And welcome everybody here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I am Andrew Valentin, and it has been a while, folks. Yes, it has been a hot minute, over a month, in fact. Hi everybody.
Yeah, it's bad.
I apologize that we've been away. We had some, shall we say, scheduling issues.
I had to get surgery. So
Yeah, Scotty had to get surgery, and then he got down with the sickness. If you don't get that reference at all, do you?
I do. That's a song.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. I don't know. I don't know what you all know, so still learning things. Scotty Kiefer is here, folks. Scotty Kiefer is here. Scotty, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm feeling great, man. You know, my team's moving away. Maybe, I don't know, but we're doing great, Andrew. We're back. It's been a minute, Andrew.
It's been a minute.
In the time that I have not been here,
A lot's happened.
a lot has happened. I went to a playoff game
You did.
and
Yes, you
saw quite possibly the greatest comeback since 28-3.
Quite possibly, yes, absolutely.
And had like the greatest night of my life. Super Bowl champion, Olympic hockey's almost over. Curling has taken over the world, and the NBA still sucks. So,
Yes.
some things stay the same, some things have changed.
Yeah. Listen, we've got a lot of things we're gonna have to cover at some point here on the show, right? Shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers. They win the national title.
Oh, yeah, and them too.
Yeah. Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl. We're gonna cover all that stuff.
We might just be throwing in references to stuff.
Yeah.
And just having like quick little like popcorn topics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of just like quick jabs of certain things.
Yeah, and we will gradually do this over the period that we're starting to get back into it, because I know you guys asked me about Super Bowl stuff, you asked me about college football stuff, you asked me about the Super Bowl halftime show stuff, so Bad Bunny, baby. But we don't have time for that. I want to kind of get to the more current stuff that we're talking about here. So without further ado, Scotty, you ready to hit this, my man? Oh, how I've missed that.
Hey, he's admitting it now.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, folks, let's jump into this. And the first thing, it's a question we got, but I didn't even pose it as a question because a lot of you guys obviously started to kind of email me. I got flooded with this. Quite a bit. I got over 20 messages from people. Basically, everybody here from the city of Chicago and the Illinois area asking about the whole Bears situation, right? It has been not officially announced. It is kind of like the rumor that is sitting out in the open for all of us to hear through the statement that the Bears made, that if you don't know, the Indiana State Legislature, I believe it is, passed a bill that essentially will approve, I think it's taxpayer money, to help fund the Bears Stadium that has been proposed to be built in, I think they said it's Wolf Lake, up northeastern.
Which is ironic because literally right next to it is Bear Lake, so like,
yes,
come on, why do we have to pick there? Just go a little bit more west.
Right. Yes, and that would obviously be very kind of like on the nose, but I guess the land there is secure enough for them to be able to build and stuff. So either way. The news has been obviously breaking a lot, and people are kind of jumping the gun and saying, well, by their statement, they were basically like, we look forward to continuing to work more hand in hand with those in Indiana, naming the mayor, the governor, all these people, right? And because of that, the conclusion that's being jumped to by many is that, so they're going to Indiana, right?
Yeah, a lot of jump to Andrew, because I was telling you I'm going to save this. Because when Andrew came in, and I was like, so what are we talking about? And he goes, we might be going a while on this Bear thing. I go, no.
I jumped the gun a little bit myself.
It's going to be quick, because you want to know why? Completely circumstantial. It's always Arlington, and none of this believe until they put anything in the ground. Because you want to know why? I don't think it's crazy to say that they'd come out with this information the night before they're going to meet in Springfield
Correct.
with Illinois about the stadium in Arlington.
Yes.
You want to tell me they didn't try to get some last-minute leverage by pushing that out or pushing the meeting to another day? Or how about the fact that Wolf Lake or whatever it's called is the area that they're building on is this basically same acreage as Soldier Field now, which is
correct,
super small with 0 parking. So how are you going to do it there?
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on. This is pure. And also, is everyone forgetting the fact that Hallis Hall is up in Lake Forest and you're going to make the players drive an hour and 20 every single game day to go to a game in Northwest Indiana? You're really going to make them do that? This is why it honestly just means nothing until then. Until they put a shovel in dirt, it means nothing.
Yeah, I was just going to say shovel to dirt and then we'll talk. Because, I mean, listen, as much as like, well, how big of an impact is this? I think it has some kind of impact for sure, of course, on the direction. Like, are they serious about this? Potentially, right? I mean, if anything, I think this is a showcase of one of two things. Either they are, as Scotty stated, they are trying to make a push to try to get the situation in Hoffman Estates settled where they can come in cleaner and have a better kind of situation with the money and everything when it comes to buying the land and being able to develop it, because Hoffman Estates has put a lot of restrictions on it to be able to try and make sure that they're going to capitalize on revenue, which, okay, in some degree I understand, but, like, do you understand that the Bears coming in is going to pour in hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, by the time we hit, like, year 4 or 5 with the Bears? Like, and I think the ownership understands that that stadium is going to pay for itself by the way of using it for games, as well as being able to supplement it out for NCAA tournament, NFL, NCAA football games, right? I mean, you're going to have all kinds of stuff being able to float in their concerts, of course, possibly even work with WWE. Like, there's whole things. If you're talking about a closed-air dome stadium that can open up, like, yes, there's a lot you can do with that. But here's the other part of it, too. If this is legit, this also, I feel like, then says the McCaskies have possibly done a disservice to the people because they've been preaching private money would buy the stadium. $2 billion would get them their new stadium, and it would come from the family. They would open up the pocketbook. This, however, revealing that they would use taxpayer money to help pay for the stadium, then is very revealing to say that, well, then the McCaskies don't have the money, so then there's an issue here. And that issue then becomes, why didn't you go out and find somebody to sell part of the team to that can help afford the stadium? Or why didn't you then start the process of then selling the team beforehand if you knew this was going to be an issue when you were talking about selling the stadium, building the stadium? Like, this is then where we're kind of running into this whole thing where it's like you didn't know you had the liquidity to be able to make this happen. So then what? Were you lying to us? Do you not have the money then? Or was this always a ploy to see if maybe Chicago, like, has this all been like private money talk, basically been to like, well, we have to figure out if we can try and see and get Illinois to give us the taxpayer money like they did with Soldier Field? Like,
I think it's more so, and this is kind of the thing I want to harp on for the Bears ownership-wise, and I've realized this over the last, like, year, especially going to games and, you know, being a season ticket holder. I know it was just moving from mother to son, but
right.
There was a regime change when Virginia died.
Correct.
Virginia always ran the team in the eyes of her father because that's what she grew up with, and she wanted to keep it close to being what Hallis was. The problem is the NFL and sports and the world has changed in that time. Significantly, and she never wanted to change it.
Correct.
But I know this sounds like a small thing, but I noticed it when I went to the first preseason game and they colored the end zones. And I know that sounds like a very small thing, but as Bear fans, that's never a thing.
That's never happened.
Every team has done that.
Yes.
But for some reason, ownership change, the right head coach comes in, whether he pushed it or not, it got accepted and they did it.
Right.
And they kept it. There's the connection to fans is so much bigger now than even it was a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the stories of George buying Ubers for everyone going to and from Soldier Field the night of the Packer game, and then subsequently the night of the Rams game.
Yeah.
They never do that. I know they aren't in the playoffs, so obviously you don't do it that much, but I mean that. I think George actually cares. I think all of the past years of Bear fans saying we want them to sell the team was more a reflection on Virginia, and George is changing that. He wants to be involved with it. And so I was talking with my buddy about it last night, about the fact that it's kind of weird that maybe the Bears would build the stadium, then try to sell. And I go, because I don't think that's the plan anymore. I think George wants to keep it.
Yeah.
Because George is enjoying. I mean, who was it? Colson Loveland gets injured at the end of the Rams game, and George runs with him to the locker room.
Yeah,
because he
that's
cares.
Right.
He's there at every single game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, and I'm really starting to turn my head on George now because I'm liking what he's doing for the Bears.
And if that is the case, I'm right there with you, because I've been very critical of him and thinking that, and I've said it I don't know how many times on this show and other shows, that I felt that he was going to be the guy who, when Virginia passed away, he would take over as the owner and immediately try to push for a sale of the team, be it to the Ryans or whoever it would be, because the Ryans have first bid. But whoever it would, I didn't feel like he was committed to the team. He has now shown through this year, I think, that I am committed to making Chicago a modern-day NFL team. But because of this situation now, it kind of puts me on now, wait a minute. It just puts the thing on hold for me personally, because until we can get a definitive answer about what is going on here, I just find it personally for me very hard to say, well, is he still on this thing? Because we have believed that they've entrusted Kevin Warren as the president to get this thing done. And we're on year 3 now, year 2, whatever it is now, year 3. Yeah, we're year 3.5 or 2.5. We're going into now year 3, and we still are sitting here, be it Bears fans or even just NFL fans, whatever the case may be, we're going, well, where's this new stadium going to be?
I do want to say, I get where you're coming from with that, and then I think, I'll say this, and I think we could wrap it up. I do agree with David, and I think that's something that is being lost in the sauce right now. This is not a Bears problem. You could say it's a Kevin Warren problem, but maybe it is. I don't think he realized coming here how bad the legislature in Illinois and the city of Chicago was going to be to literally blockade them from building anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, listen, the city situation is by far the worst because of the whole Parks of the Friends, and then you've got the zoning commissions, and of course you've got, well, you want to knock down Soldier Field, well, we want to try and keep it up as with the pillars and everything, because the pillars are what are primarily the landmarks of the stadium. So, we have to keep those up. So how do you eliminate them? How do you move the fire? There's so much on that. The Hoffman Estates thing is just, they just want to feel like they're getting a good cut of it. And I believe it was an arbitrator came in and was like, actually, we're valuing the land at this, and way overpriced it, doubled the price. And it's caused a lot of issues. So look, whatever comes out of this, I think the Northwest Indiana situation, it certainly creates more of a problem for people, because I know people in the city, it's going to take an hour plus to drive there. For us in the northwest suburbs, it's going to take more than that. It's going to take probably close to almost 2 hours with traffic and everything. It doesn't mean the Bears have to be named Indiana or Hammond or whatever it is. They still can be the Bears because the base of operations is in Chicago, as Scotty mentioned, but then you're driving in it, like he said, an hour and a half to the stadium. That's crazy. That's chaotic. So, well, not really, but
to be honest,
it's more. It fits better if it's in Hoffman Estates, because there's an equidistance there that's perfect for the players to say. Because what is it, a 30-40 minute drive? If you're driving, it's a 15-minute train ride if you take the train.
Dude, I'd like Hammond. That's like 30 minutes from me. I'd like it.
I was going to say, for you, it's a little bit closer. But for me, it's a pain in the ass that I don't want to deal with.
True.
Although, listen, you could go to the Horseshoe. It is out there. I mean, that is a thing you can do.
No, dude, did you see the rotation?
The what?
So apparently there's a golf course a little north of where they're building.
Yes, I did.
So the plan is 8 a.m. tee time, kick the Packers' ass at 3:25, and then go to the casino.
That could be a good idea.
Good day trip.
That, you know what? If you're making a day out of it, not a bad day.
That's not a bad day.
Not
That's
a bad day. Not a bad day. Although I've never been.
That day is a good day.
Yes, absolutely. Although I've never been to that golf course, so I'd be interested to see it. So, well, let's see what happens, though. Let's all pump the brakes. It's just been announced. We don't need to go all haywire. Yes, it kind of sounds like bad news. But, again, this could all just be a ploy at the end of the day. All right, let's move on from that. So, away from the NFL talk, again, we'll get back to that at later dates and times, talk about all the NFL stuff going on. We got a question from one of our guys, Craig. Craig lives in New Jersey. Craig, sorry we couldn't, meet up. Man, I was in Brooklyn last weekend, so apologies. But Craig asked me, he said he's been playing basketball his whole life. He's a basketball fan, but he's so sick and tired of the load management issue that's been plaguing the NBA for so many years. And he also says that he wants to try and see if we can maybe solve tanking, which... listen, I'd love to be able to have the answer, Craig, for you. But, yeah, so he's asking basically, how is there a way to be able to solve the issue with tanking and load management in the NBA? And, look, off the cusp, let's just answer the question. There is no good, strong answer. Like, every one of them is going to have their problems, and there's going to be issues with no matter what you come up with, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. Nobody's going to be happy with any answer that anybody ever gives about anything anyways. And we could just close it right there, right? Because you're going to be mad at me no matter what. You're going to disagree with me no matter what. But you're asking me, Mike, for the question to be answered. So here, I'll fix load management for you from my perspective. The best option I have for load management right now that I can come up with is I think you got to just shorten the season. Cut it down from 80.
When they're talking about expanding it?
I know, but cutting it from 82 games, I think, to either 72 at the most, at the least, play 64. And I know how that sounds. I don't think you have to then completely shut down the season and cut it off. I think you can still have it the length of what it is, so advertising dollars are still there. Everybody can still keep the salary cap. Salaries can still be made. It's just, there's going to be less games, which then, that might impact the salary cap, and then that might impact player salaries, and that might become, obviously, strike-worthy problems and or lockout issues, right? That might become a whole situation. But I think that's the only answer. Force these guys to say, look, you've got a shortened season. You've got a number of games to play. I mean, look, 82 games made sense before we had streaming and internet, when you actually went outside and did things a lot more often than you do. Okay? It made sense for the NHL, made sense for the NBA, and 162 games made sense for baseball. But you can cut all of those seasons down now if you wanted to, because now people are watching it on TV a lot more, watching it on the computer, or they're watching the highlights on the internet. Unfortunately, that's just kind of where we're at. Social media has now become the overtaker of cable TV. Like, it's the reality.
And to be fair, the 65-game thing for awards, it's not really working.
No.
Because now
they don't care.
Now you're cutting good players out because they played 64 games.
Right.
It's not really working.
The game.
No, but if they're injured, I understand the load management aspect, but legitimately,
if you're legitimately injured, yes.
Jokic is legitimately injured and probably going to play 64 games this year.
Correct.
But he's playing at an MVP level. He should be up there for MVP, but he won't be.
Probably sit another game.
I mean, the problem is that nobody cares about the regular season anymore. It's all about the playoffs. I know, that's
Yeah, that's true. No one should care about.
He just wants to. He wants his horses to win those races. But that's the thing is like that's the only solution I have right now for load management. I've heard a lot of other solutions. That's the only one that I come up with is like definitively you are going to then push these guys to say we have to play the games. I'm only assuming it would be the push that could say, oh, we only have so many games to play. I guess I got to make sure I'm there.
If only there was another similar time frame of a sport. They also play 82 games, but it's a little bit more, physical.
Yeah.
I think it's called hockey. I think they play all 82 some odd games.
A lot of them
They
do.
don't really load manage. Some of them play back-to-back games.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of
Especially with the Olympic break this year, the back-to-back games around this stretch right now have been insanity.
Yeah,
For the
absolutely.
hockey schedule.
not a lot of soft tissue injury worries over at the NHL level.
No, absolutely not. And it's a fair point. I mean, I say again, even they could cut down their season, but I
They're
understand
expanding it. Next year it's 84.
that. Yes, I know I don't understand it, but
they're
okay,
also
fine.
improving. They added 2 more teams since they've had that. So, like,
Correct.
that's kind of fair.
Correct. And I get that NBA is expanding, possibly looking into Seattle and Las Vegas is probably the biggest locks right now. So you're getting 32 teams, which, okay, then maybe expand the roster. Like, what else can we do? Like, we're running out of options for load management. But now the tanking thing.
Yeah, did you see what Shams put out yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I've seen the whole, like, Adam
I have
Silver's
it if you want me to
outlay
read
plan.
it out
Please
for you.
do.
So he said multiple sources with knowledge of Thursday's GM meeting as well as in late January have discussed the following curbs to tanking. The first-round picks can be protected only top 4 and top 14. I mean, that kind of does almost nothing, really.
Yeah, it's already.
First-round picks, 5 first-round picks for Desmond Bain, that almost means nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or later date. Now, this one's interesting because the PWHL does that,
Yes.
and it honestly is kind of working. Because the team that was worst in the PWHL last year is having a really good season right now.
Correct.
So,
I don't
honestly, if it's
know-
working in other leagues, it
Yeah.
might work for the NBA.
I don't know that league all too well, but I had heard after this had come out that they were doing this, and they were saying this has had a varying success on stopping the tanking.
No longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes.
Baseball does that.
Baseball does it, but they do it wrong. I like this one better.
Fair.
Because the top 10 is crazy.
It
but
is,
top
yeah.
5 or top 4,
Yeah.
that's more fair.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals. How often does that really happen? But
Yeah.
sure. I mean, you can add that one. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't
really know how that one would really work, obviously.
Mentioned the thought of no rookies or no draft, just all rookies are free agents.
That one they're not going with, but that was discussed. I was going to bring that one after.
The discussion was that it would be rookies. For those that don't know, Silver had brought up, we eliminate the draft. They go into a rookie free agency pool, essentially, and people could bid on them. I did see somebody pull an alternate, though, I will add on that said everybody would get a salary cap for rookies, and lowest record gets highest amount of money. Obviously, you win the championship, you get the lowest amount of money. Problem is, though, is that guys would then probably say, well, I'll take the lowest amount to play with OKC, and they'll pay me the max when my contract's up. That's one of the problems I saw with that, unfortunately.
Lottery is extended to all play-in teams, so the Heat and the Bulls are loving that right now.
Absolutely.
And flatten odds to all lottery teams, which honestly just means almost nothing.
Yeah, it's not a bad. The rules are not bad. I think they would help control the tanking issue to a degree. In practice, are you going to be able to enforce those rules fully? Because right now you're trying to find teams like the Pacers and the Jazz for sitting guys, which don't make sense. They the Jazz sat their guys in the fourth quarter, I think it was against the Miami Heat, and they still won the game.
They have in every single game.
Oh, they have in
basically.
every single game. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't been
the
to too many
Kings
Jazz
have not had
games.
any of their star players play the fourth quarter in a month.
Oh, that's not on the nose enough. I don't know what is. I mean, the Pacers. It's hard to tell with the Pacers. I think they're bad or they're tanking. It's really
They're
hard to
trying though.
They seem like they're trying.
They didn't. The only game they didn't try was the Kings.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty
But like
nefarious.
Siakam's playing in the fourth quarter, trying to win. The team just sucks.
Yeah, well, no Tyrese Halliburton, you're hurting for a point guard, really. But I looked at those rules. I looked over them. I think the one I came up with was I came up with this a long time ago, way back in the old spot. Probably some of you old G's might remember. I said let's do a draft tournament. It's a 1-week draft tournament similar to the play-in tournament. The 6 teams at the bottom of the East and the 6 teams in the bottom of the West play in a play-in tournament style for the number 1 overall pick. And where you finish in that is your draft pick. I know it's not perfect.
No, I kind of want to change it with what you said by let's not add any more games.
Yeah.
How about you continue this? The deadline is when all the lottery is locked, but then the schedule changes and you're only playing those teams.
Okay. That's actually
I mean, logistically,
not a bad idea.
That probably sucks.
Right.
Obviously.
Yes. You're going to get some games. Well, I just my thinking is where would be the problem with something like this? Because you get more basketball out there. You could do it like the week before the NBA finals start. You can just do it. It's a 1-game elimination, and then you bounce down, and then you play the loser or the winner of the next heat, essentially to try and make sure that you play for your pick. That's the one that I came up with again years ago. I came up with it years ago. I don't think it's the cleanest one again because to answer this definitively one more time, there is no clean-cut answer to the to any of this stuff getting cleaned up. The NBA is going to have this problem, I think, going into next year, even still going into the off season. Okay, because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of owners who are going to probably be, I don't know how much they're going to love this or not, and players are certainly going to have their own thoughts on this too. So definitively, I don't know if there is a true answer. I don't mind the rules that they've given for trying to stop tanking in the NBA for Adam Silver. I would like to see the draft tournament. I think it would still be good. It'd give competitive basketball to some degree. It would make sure that everybody would want to play because, hey, you don't want to be the worst team and not have the opportunity to not have the number 1 pick. You want to play your ass off to get that number 1 pick, I would think. Especially if it's like a Victor Wembanyama or Daryl Peterson or some top player like that. You want that guy on your team, you would think. And as far as load management, I think, I don't know, shorting the season just feels like the only answer I can come up with. I mean, what other incentive? You have to, what are you going to give billion-dollar incentives to these guys to play? That's the only other option I feel like we're falling for, is you just got to give these guys more money as incentive to actually play.
Kawhi Leonard's literally being paid underneath the table, and he's still not playing. I don't think that's the answer, Andrew.
I'm not.
He's being paid for trees,
I'm
and
not
what
saying
you're
that
saying, let's pay them more money to play more games.
I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm just saying, what other option is there outside of, shorten the season and then pay them more money? That's where we're kind of falling at. Unless... Well, yeah, maybe less. Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Missing games, you make less money.
Yeah, that may be the case. Make it
health or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've run out of options. Then that's the only other one that I can think of is you get $500K or you get $500.
Things away from them.
Yeah.
The luxurious, I seeing the LA Clippers their locker room is crazy. It looks like a NASA spaceship. It's crazy how luxurious it looks. It's like first class at an airline.
Yeah.
Imagine if the White Sox started doing this and they just got bidets put in there.
Yeah.
Come on, these facilities are crazy. That shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
no.
Like I said, they should start downgrading. It'd be like Moneyball. We gotta start paying for soda. What the hell is this?
Or Major League, instead of flying on the plane, you got to take the bus.
Yeah.
That's not a bad. I mean, listen.
Sorry, no more running water. We have an outhouse now at the crypto arena or whatever the hell they're called.
You have to go take up. You have to go take a deuce in Inglewood outside.
It's pretty clear in some kind of case, you got to kick these guys in the ass and get them off the bench and get them on the court. And you have to tell these teams, and listen, the tanking stuff, I don't know if there's ever going to be a prevention from it, because even if you did implement that whole free agency pull 2 thing, by the way, how many of these teams would suddenly say, well, we're just going to be bad and have the most money in the draft pool then, and we'll just give all the money to the top rookie? Like, it's not, I don't know if there is like we clamp it down. Hopefully these rules come into place. Hopefully there is a solution that can actually come about to fix all of this, because right now where we sit at the NBA, they don't care about the ratings. They don't care about who's watching because they've got their money. It's just now you just want to see the product be good. And hopefully, my only hope is that maybe this draft class that's coming in could be something in line with 1996 or 2003, where you just see a transformation to a whole new era come in for the league. I'm hoping. There's no ifs, ands, or buts on that for sure. But thank you for the question, Craig. I appreciate it. All right, this next one this came from a bunch of people, basically asking about, the whole issue going on right now in college football with eligibility especially. Kind of went on a rant with one of these guys. Carl was his name. By the way, the perfect name for a guy that's got a rant. It fits. Carl and rant, they just kind of go together. But he kind of went on a rant about the fact that Trinidad Chambliss gets his 6th year of eligibility by a block from a judge in Mississippi, who happens to just be an Ole Miss grad, by the way, and a supporter. You got Joey Aguilar, who was able to get a judge who, I don't know if he's a Tennessee fan, but he just kept apparently jumping around from judge to judge to find somebody that finally said, all right, I'll grant you the injunction. He also kind of went on about, obviously, the portal and NIL. We've discussed that at length. Let's talk just real quick about this eligibility kind of stuff.
Just go be a real estate agent already.
Go get a job, dude. Seriously. The amount of times, I get it. NIL, it pays you a lot of money. I get it. You don't want to grow up. We all want to be Van Wilder, live in the world of our dreams in college for 7, 8+ years. I get it. But at some point, dude, grow up.
Dude, when I heard Carson Beck hasn't taken a class in 2 years, I got frustrated.
I get there's a grad transfer. There's all graduate classes, all that kind of stuff. I get that. But this is out of hand. This is a little insane that Trinidad Chambliss should be going to the draft. He probably would be the 2nd quarterback picked maybe in this draft class. Well, maybe. I'm saying maybe. I don't know. What do I know? But either way, it's the fact that he so definitively wanted to stay an extra year. And I can't blame him. Look, you're making a lot of money in college. Sure, you have a chance to have more fame and maybe grow your profile. But in next year's draft, are you going to go any higher? Are you going to do any better? That's the thing is how to stop college football's eligibility. Well, folks, I don't know if you know this, but college football right now is actually at war with the NCAA. And the NCAA is trying to punch back and say, yeah, we're going to put in rules in place that make sure that eligibility is curtailed, if you will, which then would threaten Chambliss and a number of other college players and their eligibility, which I think is the right thing to do. I think you should have 5 years under your belt, okay? If you want anything to say, well, it doesn't count, okay, let the JUCO stuff maybe not count. I'm okay with that. The JUCO stuff not counting against your eligibility, fine. If you want to implement that, I'm okay with that. But D3, D2, FBS to FCS, you play in any of those leagues and don't take a red shirt, counts against you. It counts against you. And you have to take it then to 5 years. You want that other year? Graduate. Get your degree, become a graduate transfer. That's what a lot of the other guys have done in the past, not presently. Right? Like Scotty said, you got Carson Beck, who's been sitting around for 7 years playing college. Somehow he's still 25 or 24. It baffles me.
Yo, it's crazy that Micah Parsons is a generational talent in the NFL, winning awards, and there's people from his recruiting class still
That's still in college, yeah.
And Micah Parsons has been in the NFL for years now.
Yeah, exactly. Like this whole situation with the eligibility is becoming a problem, especially too because there are high school kids who are fighting and clawing for a chance to play college ball at the Division I level, no less. And they're not going to get a chance because you want to stay for your 8th year or your 7th year. And if they get granted that, well, now a kid's missing out. Now, hopefully that kid goes to an FBS school or goes to D2 or D3 and rips it up in there and still gets a shot at being drafted or something like that, right? But the problem is that you may be missing out on those kids and those opportunities because now you're giving it to a dude who, oh, yeah, he's been a part of my team now for XYZ. What are his stats like? He has like 5 catches for 50 yards. He's been playing for how long? 7 years. He doesn't have a touchdown catch? No. Then why the hell is he on your team?
Just go be a construction worker.
Go be a barista at Starbucks.
Remember when you can only transfer in college football once and you had to sit out a year, and then being a senior actually meant something.
Yeah.
Graduate transfers were unheard of.
They were very solemn and few.
Look, I know Notre Dame's been in the crapshoot for the past month with everything that went on with them. But, one of their transfers was doing an interview, and they asked him what's different between, I think he was one of the transfers from Ohio State.
Yeah, Mylan Graham, I saw that.
Yeah, he literally goes, yeah, no, I have to, actually do school. So
yeah, he has to actually go to classes.
That's, the biggest change, to be honest. So, shout out Notre Dame. They actually make their students go to class in order to play football.
Yeah, no.
And there's Carson Beck. I haven't taken a class in 2 years.
Well, I mean, in the sense of obviously he probably graduated early or something, but I mean, listen, Mylan Graham might go there and say, yeah, I'm in class, and then all of a sudden go, I don't want this. A guy's got NFL potential, of course, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Is now with the mindset of how a player is that something that you want? Do you want the education, or are you there to, as Cardell Jones once said, play school? I mean, this is kind of the duality of what we're looking at right now with the eligibility thing and where these players want to go. You're going to school, but a lot of these guys are going to school because they're getting paid to play football. They're not going there for the educational purpose. So, I mean, listen, to answer one of the questions that our guy Carl actually asked us too is, well, how do you fix the whole transfer portal thing? I believe it was Josh Pate who brought it up that I saw, who said that it would be first year is transfer free, no penalty. Second year or anything after that, you have to sit out a year. So the first time you get a freebie. Everyone gets one for free, as Spider-Man said on Family Guy. And then after that, yeah, you got to sit out a year. You have to wait. You have to, I would assume that would then come with you're not getting paid your NIL. You're having to sit with the team and just kind of wait. So you have to be then dedicated to say, do I want to make this move away from the school? Which, by the way, would mean that committing to a school actually means something again. Instead of just being I'll commit to Alabama, but if I don't want to stay here, I'll go somewhere else. Oh, I'll commit to Michigan, but if I don't get what I want here, I'll just find another school. The only other ways then that were mentioned that you could transfer for free would be a medical red shirt, which has been granted to many guys in the past already. There is then obviously the coach leaving, which we've seen many a times already before. That 15-day window opens up. The third one would be you graduate. You're a grad transfer. You get your degree, and then you can transfer wherever the hell you want for free, which has always been a thing, but guys don't take advantage of it because not all of them graduate because they're not there to play school. Again, to quote Cardell Jones. So how do you fix this so-called nonsense, as you called it? I mean, look, I don't know if there is fixing it because, let's be honest, are we going to stop watching? We complain. A lot of you complain. I'm not saying I complain. A lot of you complain. I'm not saying anybody here complains. A lot of you guys do complain, and I understand your complaints. But you complain so much to the point that I go, are you going to stop watching then? And you go, well, no. And it's, well, what's the argument then?
Andrew, quick question. What do you think about Sacramento State going all the way to the Midwest to play on a Monday night in the random state of Michigan and then just play in front of 125 people in a blizzard? What do you think about that?
I think that they've just spent $50 million to move into a conference that is absolutely ridiculous. If nobody knows that Sacramento State is moving into the MAC conference, which they actually have to pay upwards of, I think it is $30+ million in the first year. To make the move is 25. To be a part, to pay, then they have to pay for the expenses and the teams. Upwards could be $50 million on the year. Sacramento State had all of this NIL money, and they're going to shove it all down the drain because they want to join the MAC. That's wild.
Yeah, but we get Sacramento State versus Ball State.
Oh, shut up. The Ball Sack Bowl. Yeah, I get it.
I wasn't going to say it on your show.
That's fine. I don't care. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I get it. Ha ha, funny.
Like, North Dakota State joining a conference? Fair.
That actually is exciting.
They should have.
That's actually
FBS
exciting.
Probably since Carson Wentz was there, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but they wanted to rule the FBS.
Yeah. But
now they're going to rule the Mountain West.
But, like, Sacramento State, okay, you could join. Just go to the Mountain West. You gotta go to the MAC because, for some reason they decided to get rid of the Pac-12. So
I don't think they should have moved up regardless. That's the problem. Like, moving up to Division I football like this, like Division I single A ball, not the move they should have made. Stay in FBS or maybe bump down. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is not going to translate the way that I think they believe it will. They may actually have a losing record in the MAC and they think they're going to clean house. Okay, good luck. It's not USC. It's Sacramento State. Most people can't even point on a map and say where Sacramento is. By the way, that's the capital of California, not Los Angeles. I don't know if anybody knows that. Which, but I just trying to educate you.
Andrew doesn't have to question me because he knows I'm a nerd like that and knows stuff like that.
I was actually gonna wait for you to be like, actually, and like tell me I was wrong. So,
Yeah.
But thank you guys for the question. Anyways, I appreciate it, Carl. I'm sorry you went on a rant and I think you had an aneurysm, dude. You so many exclamation points, my guy. All right, last one we're gonna do real quick because we're probably gonna talk about this again eventually down the line. Major League Baseball. This got asked by our guy, Mikey. Mikey is from Kansas City, Missouri, and Mikey is a big avid baseball fan. He's actually a White Sox fan himself because he's from Chicago. And he said, just when I think the White Sox are kind of looking like they're on the cusp, we might lose baseball. How do we can the MLB avoid a lockout before the 2027 season?
No, it's literally guaranteed. There. All right. Thanks, Mikey, for your email.
Yeah, thanks for the quick.
Literally guaranteed.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Scotty's not wrong on this. Like, the salary cap thing has now become. I thought they were divided on this. Apparently, now the owners are like in step on this.
Well, because Kyle Tucker set it off.
Oh, yeah.
And then that kind of set off like, look, you want to tell me it's not a problem? Come on.
Right. Well, and here's what we've said on Blow the Whistle. It shouldn't be a cap. It should be a floor. And I'm for that. Like, force these owners that are paying cheap to pay up like the rest of the Joneses. So it doesn't need to be a cap, but tell them you can't spend less than this.
Can't spend less than $125 million.
There you go.
Something like that.
Something like that. Because these
then again, you're gonna get a 2016 NBA problem when Timothy Mozgov gets a $50 million contract.
Correct. Yeah, you're gonna get inflated salaries and.
Yeah, but at least teams will have to try to be competitive.
Yes, and that is what we're trying to get to because Nick has said it, Scotty, I believe you said it, David said it, I've said it, Tyler said it, everyone has said it, I think, at this point on any of our shows. When it comes to talking about the baseball problem that's out there, when it comes to spending money, it's not the top teams spending all the money. It's these bottom feeders that decide they're going to go on the cheaper side and try to go pennies on the dollar for players because they want to try to moneyball stuff. Which, yeah, look, for Tampa, it's worked okay until Kevin Cash goes, what does the computer tell me to do? And then he completely flubs it because he's so analytical, it's a problem. Like, this is, I think, unavoidable. Tony Clark now had to resign because baseball has this issue with purity, apparently, where, you can't have an affair with somebody, which I'm not saying that's wrong. It is wrong. But we do have guys that, by the way, have, like, done some very serious stuff in a lot of sports, by the way. Like, very serious crimes. And they've gotten away with it with, like, a slap on the wrist, essentially. By the way, Major League Baseball had a story where there were 2 dudes who swapped wives in the 70s. That's a real story, by the way. They were just like, I like your wife. I like your wife. Let's just trade wives. And they've lived that way forever. Like, not a big deal. But Tony Clark was not doing a good job either way for Major League Baseball's player association. So he's out. They promoted somebody new. And right now, from what I heard, what was it? They've got like a $2 billion war chest, according to the owners. So they're ready. But so are the players. Like, they're ready for this too. So it's a battle. It's a war that they're about to go to. And, yeah, we may have baseball. We may not have baseball for over a year, maybe. Like, that's where we're headed.
With how the last negotiations went and how bad that went, this is probably going to be worse.
They're saying this is to quote what I saw last, I can't remember who said it, bloodbath. Mm-hmm. Bloodbath was the term used, and I went, oh, this is going to stink.
Because now there's even more stuff that they can't agree on than there was the last time.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's frustrating because I am an avid baseball fan. You know I jump around team to team, whatever. But I do love watching baseball. It's something I have loved watching for a long time since I've gotten into sports. For more of a sentimental value, because it's something I can actually watch with my dad and my brother on a very regular basis and talk about with them on a regular basis. Not having baseball, for me, for I'm sure Nick, for Scotty, for a lot of us who are avid baseball fans, sports fans, it's going to be hard to just say, like, oh, spring's here. Oh, that's right, no pitchers and catchers. Everyone's still on, the lockout's still going.
No, because legitimately, I've been telling everyone, like, hey, pitchers and catchers reported this week. Like, legitimately, like.
Well, okay, yes, for this season, yes.
It's been massive, like, that baseball is coming back.
And especially now with this going on, this is like the season. It's like, hey, cherish this because we don't know when this is going to come next. And that's sad. Like, when was the last time they didn't have baseball? It was World War II, I think, right? Or something like that. Like, they think that was the last time they had no baseball games going. Other than, like, the 94 strike where they but they still had games then. COVID, yeah. But they still played games.
Yeah, they still played games, but they didn't play the full season.
Right, they didn't play the full season. I'm talking about a full season, baseball. I believe that was during World War II. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong on that, you guys can tell me, of course. But I don't think there's – I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this, dude. I hate to tell all our fans. I think we're going to be without baseball. I'm hoping only for half a year. I think it might be for a full season, maybe more. And I say that as sadly as I can. So I'm sorry I couldn't give you better news, but that's that. Thank you for the question regardless. Final, last-second shots. Scotty, you got anything you want to talk about real quick in these last seconds?
That's been going on, like, the last, like, couple days. Did you see the guy at the World Poker Tournament tore his ACL celebrating?
Okay.
Yeah. Nick's looking at me like I'm crazy.
This is the dumbest.
This is a real thing.
No, this is dumb. This is dumb.
Listen.
This is as dumb
Did
as
you
when.
see this?
Yes, I did. Okay. This is as dumb as when Kim Kardashian wore those reflector shades at the World Series of Poker for celebrities. It's that dumb.
Nick, listen to this. So their World Series of Poker or World Poker Tour, whatever the title was.
World Series of Poker.
No, it wasn't World Series of Poker.
The World
like
Poker Tour, yes.
Yeah. They play out the hand. The dude had less odds to win, won an all-in pot. It was like a $5 million pot. Starts celebrating. And, like, I'm not talking, like, going crazy, doing backflips, celebrating, or like, remember when Justin Houston tore his ACL for the Bears, celebrating? Literally the most casual celebration you could ever have.
Yeah.
Wrecked his ACL.
Martin Grammatica basically kind of deal where it's like jumping in the air kind of stuff, and it's like, whoops.
I will mention that the tournament was held in Santa Clara, but it checks out. Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this. The 49ers are going to play in Mexico.
Yes, I did.
And right next to Estadio Azteca is another plant.
Yep.
So
Yep, that's right. I completely forgot about that.
anyways, what are you watching the most for Olympics?
What am I watching the most for Olympics? I've really...
I just care about the hockey.
I've really kind of more so been watching like the highlights on stuff. I've more so been fascinated with all the controversy that's been coming out from the curling stuff, obviously, between Canada and USA, all the way to that one dude who was it the Italian skier or whatever it is, who won bronze,
they're injecting stuff into their...
Oh, no, not that. I was talking about the dude that was just trying to get his girlfriend back live on air.
Oh, yeah, that
for cheating on her, which just, I mean, dude, like... You've lost. Like you're begging on TV now at the Olympics that like you tried and not gonna work. Sorry, you fail. So no, otherwise I've just been really watching the highlights on stuff. I will say though I don't know how one man goes on a bobsled and goes head first down.
Yo, skeleton is awesome.
Skeleton is just like it's awesome, but like I'm so scared every time I watch those guys because I'm like they're gonna fly off, they're gonna break their neck, their head's gonna crack open. Like they're going at like Mach speeds.
No, skeleton is like honestly.
I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm just saying it's like
I'm like actively
I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time.
While they're going down, I'm like laughing. I'm like these people are so stupid.
They're crazy, absolutely insane.
I will say the most I've watched. For hockey, I've literally watched almost every single hockey game.
I figured.
Other than the 5 o'clock games.
That shocks me. I thought you would be up for that.
No.
Too tired?
Yeah.
I figured.
But, like, and if they're playing at the same time as the U.S., that was the only games I wasn't really watching. But the Olympic hockey with the NHL players being back, pretty sick. Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Watch the video. It's great. It's good hand of poker, man. I mean, the way he won, great job.
No, absolutely. No, he did it. Listen, for a guy that I love poker, fantastic. But, dude, the celebration, man, just,
And I'll say this, too.
Fist pump and call it a day.
The women's hockey was really good as well.
It was. The women's U.S. team is...
Except they got to push the PWHL more, but they, like, barely talked about it.
Well, we'll see. Listen, ESPN starting up its, the women's... Oh, boy. Listen, I'm all for promoting more women's sports. It's just, I don't know about this one, I got to be honest. I am...
We'll get into it next week.
Yeah, we might get into it next week. There's much to say, I'm sure, for that. But that's going to do it for the show here, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you all have really enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys for joining us in, listening to us. If you guys want to check us out anymore, obviously we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch. That's XBomb Sports. Find us on YouTube and Twitch. You can type us in and you'll find us there. If you guys want to check us out anymore on the social media side, we're at XBomb Sports on all the social media stuff. You know where to find us. And if you guys want to ask any more questions, we're at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com as well. You guys can always hand us there. Thank you so much for these questions, too, by the way. Hey, while you're at it, we're going to be jumping over to Blow the Whistle, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, Blow the Whistle. Come check us out on Sportstown Chicago's YouTube page. We're going to be going live 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Myself, David, Nick, and, well, Scotty won't be there, but the intern, the Glitch, will apparently be there as well. So, go check us out there. We're probably going to be rehashing some of the stuff we talked about here, maybe some more, maybe answer some questions. We'll figure it out when we get there, of course. And also, too, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear any more stuff, particularly to wrestling, I highly recommend you go check out a show that came before us. It's our boys from Bad Karma Wrestling, David, Double D Dykstra, and No Gibbous Nick Johnson, talking all the fun wrestling stuff with Scotty Kiefer as well, too, doing their thing. talking to everything WWE and AEW for the week. So I highly recommend you guys go check that out, especially too before SmackDown comes on today on Friday. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated because things are getting a little busy for me now lately. But the plan is try to get more consistent on the Fridays. Maybe see if we can do some other days here and there when we can. Appreciate you. Love you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.